Hello everyone, my name is Jenny, and today I'm gonna kick off the series of my new reading journey by reading this particular article from Achieve 3000. So today's, as you can see on the title, I'm going to be reading about an article from World History, Exploration and the Early Global Age. What's so great about gold anyway? So I'm just gonna read this article and I'm gonna answer some following questions relating to this article as well. So without further ado, let's get into the video. What's so great about gold anyway? Christopher Columbus once penned a letter that described a gorgeous island, landscape teeming with intriguing people and astounding wildlife. The island, he wrote, abounds in various kinds of species, gold and metals. The explorer's mention of gold grabbed people's attention in a big way and helped fuel the age of exploration. But what's so great about gold anyway? Part of what makes gold valuable is that it really doesn't change. If people are going to carry around something to trade for goods, they need to use something that's consistent and easily identifiable. A pocket full of vials filled with a rare, colorless gas wouldn't work because the gas is invisible and therefore not identifiable. And trading liquid elements would be a real mess. Some metals are too reactive. Iron rusts when it gets west, and potassium is even worse. When it touches water, it bursts into flames. Some of the metals are radioactive. Gold is chemically a lot less interesting, and that's what makes it so exciting. It's scarce, stable, and just happens to be beautiful. Going for gold. Columbus has read the famous explorer Marco Polo's journals about the island of endless gold, meaning Japan. So when he first sailed west in 1492, that's where he hoped he was heading. Instead, he ended up in the Bahamas, a few hundred miles from what's now Florida. In the Bahamas, Columbus met the Lucasian people, some of whom were gold-nosed rings. The Lucayans greeted Columbus and his crew with food and water, and he later wrote in his journal, with 50 men they can all be subjugated and made to do what is required of them. Columbus in his crew kidnapped several Lucanians, writing in his journal that they would be good servants, and then kept sailing around until the ship got stuck on an island that Columbus dubbed Hispaniola, now called Hispaniola. While the crew did repairs, the Taino people who lived on the island appeared with gold to trade for some bells the sailors had. Columbus's journals show that over time he kidnapped many thousands of Tainos and sent them to Spain, where they were enslaved. The Taino people who remained were forced to search for gold that Columbus claimed for Spain. So enslave means to force somebody remain in a bad situation. Okay. Columbus jotted down the details of his crew's exploits once he returned to Spain and sent a letter to Spain's king, Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, who didn't keep the golden news to themselves. The letter was first printed in 1493 and then 15 more times over the next 5 years in cities across Europe. Gold fever. After that, gold fever took hold among Europeans who set out to find and colonize lands rumored to be ripe with riches, lands that were already inhabited. These lands were overrun with fortune seekers who exploited, murdered, enslaved, and otherwise endangered millions of indigenous people for their own gain. The result was devastating. For example, of the Tainos who had survived Columbus's subjugation and extreme brutality, most were disseminated by diseases the Europeans brought with them. Looted gold and silver flooded into Europe, initially having a negative impact on the European economy. Before this, land has been the basis of wealth in Europe, and gold and silver were scarce. All the new precious metals everywhere sent the economy reeling, and merchandise prices skyrocketed. It took 150 years for the economy to stabilize. Reeling means wait a minute. Okay. Historians note that the frenzied search for gold had serious consequences and changed the world irrevocably. Gold is still prized for its good looks and relative rarity. Estimates suggest that one could melt down all the gold that's been mined in the world from a single cube, with scientists 66 feet wide, and scientists say that there's a little over 57,000 tons of gold still left to be discovered. Gold hasn't been backed currency in decades, though when United States President Richard Nixon cut the US dollar's ties to gold in 1973, other countries did the same. Gold has also encountered another change, and recently it's always been recyclable, so it never really went away. A necklace a person buys today may contain gold that was mined thousands of years ago, but now about 12% of gold production go to the tech industry, while tiny amounts are used in electronics, such minute quantities that recycling doesn't make sense financially. This meant that the first time in history, gold is being consumed rather than just stashed, so experts say the world supply is sinking.